Are you on the phone?
I don't.
He's got to be on the phone.
Music.
People.
Delaney and I have to take care of
Messages.
ours.
Double tap to swipe up or down to select Facebook.
Give me a second.
Double tap to open.
People do some sharing and we will fire off.
Facebook.
Finally got the show back.
Okay, we literally are just starting the
Neil McDonald profile picture.
show.
Lip. Neil McDonald is lit now. Like. React. Comment. Share.
All right.
Close button. Activate
Okay.
to close this view.
All right. We'll talk
Neil
to you in a
McDonald.
minute.
Choose a
Okay.
destination. Feed button.
Be quiet when you come in.
Profile.
All right. Bye.
Activate to
I
close
won't
the
have my show interrupted.
back button. Select
Yeah,
destination.
she would not have appreciated that comment.
Group button.
Good thing she doesn't listen.
Yeah, no, I wasn't worried about it getting to
Foundation button. Neil McDonald, say something about this. Share now.
Hey, say something about this.
Posting. Ellipsis.
This
Facebook.
is going to be fun.
Posted. David Crystal Smith. Neil McDonald profile picture. Lip. Neil
it's gonna take me a second. I'm gonna do two things different here. One, I'm just this one show I'm gonna share in the other two groups, Beepball Central and just Beepball also. Just I guess because it's been so long that we've been doing.
Like, react, comment, share.
Give me a second to do two more.
Yeah,
shows.
man.
Neil McDonald. Choose a destination.
I'm
a
busy
Choose privacy.
man.
All _ friends. Button. Choose a destination. Feed button. Selection.
I ain't
Feed
got
button.
all day.
Friends profile button. Group button. Group button. Search field. Beepball.
As we
Same.
wait
Features element.
for
Shop
Neil
VIP
to
button.
make
Beep baseball players. Coaches.
the
USA blind
magic
soccer.
that Neil
Mobile
makes.
accessible game. Beepball Central button. Neil McDonald. Say something about this. Ellipsis. Share now. Cap Q. Share now button. Posting.
No
ellipsis.
one would even think
Facebook. Heading.
that not too many years ago, Neil was
Posted.
technologically non-savvy. But now
Neil
look
McDonald
at him.
profile picture. Lip. Neil McDonald
Posting,
ago. Up like.
recording.
Comment.
When I explain why we were off an extra couple weeks, you'll still consider me non-savvy.
Share.
It's kind of ridiculous now that I look back.
Share.
But
close button. Activate to close the view.
And do it. What's done is done and cannot be undone.
The wheel weaves as the wheel wills, Neil dog.
Indeed.
No reason to fight it.
Button. Friends profile button. Group button. Search field. Beepball name. Same. Dot shop. Beep baseball. USA blinds. Mobile access. Beepball Central. Just Beepball. Blind content. Just Beepball. Button. Neil McDonald. Say something about this. Share now. Button. Cap Q. Share now. Button. Posting. Ellipsis. Facebook. Heading.
The other thing I'm going to do that's
Create button.
different.
Revolutionary?
No,
going into the 24th century?
I don't even really know why I'm doing it, but I'm not going to send this video to Frank for him to edit music and stuff. I'm just going to put up the same thing the live group on Facebook gets. So I don't know why. Well, when I first started thinking that, one, this is just kind of a test run to make sure the technology is all going to work for us. Not just recording it, but getting it up on the podcast and up on YouTube. And one of the things I've been having a problem with is the editing stuff for the podcast. So I thought I was just going to put the audio up unedited. So I was like, I'm going to do the same thing with the video. Just put it up the way they see it on Facebook. But I am going to edit the podcast still. But this one time I'm going to just put this whole long thing up on the YouTube. So people like your parents could see what they miss out by not getting our live podcast.
So everything we've said thus far will be
on YouTube. Yeah. But it can be on Facebook every time anyways. And that's where the majority we get you like combine what the podcast and the YouTube get together in hits, views, whatever. And the Facebook is always like more than double that just in the like first 24 hours. So our largest audience is definitely the live group here on Facebook.
Well,
anyways,
yes.
Wow.
Let's go. No.
All right. Let's do it then. 3, 2. Hey, Beepball and baseball world. It is us. It is us, believe it or not. Heel Dog, Bam Bam, back in our seats again. Our block from social media has finally come to an end, and we're free people again. Is that dog?
Free at last.
Not being up on on social media while we were suspended?
No, I felt empty, Neil. I felt like something was missing from my life. I felt disconnected from the beatball world. And I realized that the emotional attachment I have to the game, to the players, to the sport overall is something that I need in my life on a constant basis. So it's been very difficult for me over these last several weeks, Neil. Dog, how you like that? Jesus.
Oh, that was like really like believable for people that don't know you. Beautiful and believable. That's something they
Right.
put as a little clip up on a like a public service announcement.
Yeah, right.
What was that McDonald's commercial we always made fun of back in the day? Marvin's gonna be manager someday.
God, I can't remember what dude's name was. It wasn't Ronald. Oh.
No, it definitely wasn't Ronald. I don't know what it was, but we made fun of that for a long time afterwards. Marvin, I don't know if that's
It
even
was
a
a
thing,
it
but
was a, I don't know. I don't know how to
Martin will be manager
was it was
someday.
it was it Malcolm?
Might have been.
Uh,
Might have been. I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't
Speaking of
know.
food that we should not have, I meant to ask you this earlier. I really just remember them from when I was a kid, but I'm sure they obviously they're still around. The animal cookies that were painted pink and
Yeah,
white, the little
yeah,
frosted one. You
yeah,
like those?
yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Dairy, Dairy,
They're still
Dairy
around.
Queen. Yeah, I figured they had to be. Dairy Queen has a animal cookie blizzard now.
Oh, that would be good.
And I kind of wish that we were on the time frame of starting this a couple hours ago when we talked about it, 'cause I'm worried that Grubhub will go be closed when we get done.
Good.
Because I've been craving one all day. And I'm on a self-imposed no sugar strike, and I really feel like I could lose that battle tonight.
Yeah, no,
Even though it is like getting, I got a medium, and towards the end it was just getting like, obviously I was having too much sugar and too much sweet, but I couldn't stop eating it because I wanted another
hold on. So
chunk.
you
Like,
you already
I've
lost your
had
strike?
one. Yeah,
Okay.
well, this was before the strike, but
Okay.
today I can't stop thinking about it. I worked out before we got
That's a
together for the
craving.
show.
That shows a addiction problem.
Yeah, no, I'm an admitted sugar addict. I didn't even,
Ah.
Mike Finn taught me. I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't even realize that being a sugar addict is a thing. But no question, I'm a sugar addict. I'm a sugar, and I'm weak. And I'm and I'm weak. I remember those cookies from when I could see, and like I always liked the look of, because like looking at sugar got me excited, and I always thought that they looked so perfectly frosted. You know what I mean? I love that frosted look. And when I heard about that blizzard a few weeks ago, I was like, "Oh, I gotta try one of those." And it did not disappoint. It was getting to be too much for me, but I couldn't stop because I wanted, like, I wasn't gonna let any of the little chunks of cookie that are in there go to
Right.
waste.
I remember a movie. I have no idea what movie it was, but I think like Dom DeLuise was in it, and Dom DeLuise is a big, heavier guy, and they were like trying not to eat sweets, or one of them was, or whatever, and they, like locked up all the cabinets or whatever, and then they're all sitting there, and they start talking about how jelly donuts
You
look.
know what? I've never seen that movie, but I know what movie you're talking about.
You do.
Yeah, Don Geronimo used to bring that movie up a lot. Don Geronimo could do a good, whoever, if that was Don DeLuise that did the jelly donut thing, I've never seen the movie, but I know it's like, oh, I'd really want a jelly donut. I've heard the impression so many times that I'm
No,
familiar with what you're talking about.
yeah, no, it's a great scene, but you reminded me of that when you were saying, "Oh, the sugar looks so good coated
Oh, yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah.
cookie."
I
Uh,
love that when I could see like that would get me excited when I was looking at it, like something that just looked good. That like on desserts, like
right,
that
yeah,
frosted, like that, like the morning pastries that have that, like
yeah.
like bear claws with that frosted top. Oh, I get excited just thinking about it.
Yeah,
So
you do, man. You got to calm down,
yeah,
Neil.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
All right, well, that's a
oh,
pretty good show. We're back.
yeah, right. Oh, you know, Neil, I'm representing today, man. I'm representing a jersey. I'm representing an LA jersey.
LA.
Yeah.
What LA jersey would you represent?
Oh, it's not a place. It's a person. Uh,
Well,
uh, my favorite offensive lineman in the history of the NFL, Larry Allen, died yesterday.
oh, I did
So
not hear that.
yeah, so I'm repping my custom made Larry Allen jersey right now, man. 73, man. You know, California native, California. So want to throw
His
that out there.
son played for De La Salle, right? Just
I think he did. He also
Concord.
like went to Harvard and or one of the Ivies or whatever. I think he was like a
Mm,
DN, but I never heard if he ever progressed anywhere
yeah,
after that.
man, that's sad. Like he's our age,
Dude,
more
yeah,
or
no,
less.
he's 50. He was 52. He was
Oh,
52. Yeah,
that's not right, man.
yeah, no, he was on vacation with the kids or the family. They
Oh,
didn't say the
oh,
kids. He was in
oh,
Mexico on vacation with the family. So
man.
yeah, so very very sad news out of you know, the cowboy camp. Man, I remember sitting with Henry and Aaron. Maybe Christina was there the day he was drafted. That's who I wanted the Cowboys to draft. Man, I was so excited, man. And then he just turned out to be an absolute beast. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
very
No,
very
that was
very.
one great offensive lineman.
Uh,
Played left guard, right?
he played right guard. He played
Oh,
right
right
guard.
guard. Mm,
Yes, he
yeah,
played right guard. All
great.
except like when Eric Williams got hurt in '94, he slipped. He went out to right tackle. Played the Niners in that NFC Championship game on one foot out there just warring, man. Hurt. Oh, it was great. But yes, Larry Allen has left us. But you know,
Wow.
I wasn't laughing, but I was thinking about it earlier. I never like kind of trip on that. Oh man, he's like our age or whatever. You know, man. You know, I never look at the ages of people kind of when they when they pass away. I figure it's like, you know, it's probably because, you know, I started dealing, and you too, right? We started dealing with the stuff at such a young age. I got shot at 13. I was like, oh shit. So, but
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, like the hardships of life definitely is something, that we learned at a young age, as some do. But I gotta be honest, man, now I'm rapidly closing on 56. Like hearing like this kind of stuff in people's ages now is affecting me.
Does it? Does
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Does
yeah.
it?
It's like, man, I don't want to be that. I don't want that to be me.
All right.
So I don't know. Anyways, rest in
Yeah,
peace, Larry Allen and Bill Walton, one of sports' most
right.
colorful personalities ever. The most famous deadhead. Dude used to follow the Grateful Dead around, total hippie. But
He looked like one. I remember Bill Walton. I can picture him.
the rest in peace to both. Oh, so explanation why we've been gone so long. We're just
Mm.
casually talking like we're here every week.
Hey man,
Um,
no, it was funny. I got to pause one more time. You know, again, I've been gone, and I texted my mom like, you know, around like 7 or whatever, 6:45, 7. I was like, I'm gonna take a shower, do the Beepball Blues show. We don't have any guests, so it should be short. I said, but you know, we do have a tendency to go on
yeah,
and
right.
on and on and on. So
We talked
try
for a half hour before we started the show. And I don't mean before before we were live on Facebook.
yeah,
We
right.
talked for a half hour. I
uh,
don't know how far in now, and we've gotten nowhere near doing people.
so sorry, but I
So,
laugh. So here we go. So yes,
you're
tell us.
you're probably doing me a favor. I won't be able to get my Blizzard.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm here for you, Neil. Dog.
Yeah, you're a good man, Seth. Dog.
Oh man, I try, man. I try, man. I try.
So we were lined up to do a show over Mother's Day weekend, and the guest pulled out on us shortly after that. And then the following Friday, which was the day before the both the Texas tournament that went on, the Texas Regional, and the Battle of Illinois. And so that Friday we had Dustin Youngren, White Lightning, aka Lightning Bolt. Did you notice when he signed in? He was signed in as Lightning Bolt that day.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
We are not going to have that guy back on. I had a question I wanted to ask him about a game I saw him playing.
We'll try to. I mean, he's going to be upset if we don't. But I didn't know if this. I guess until we get it up on the podcast and on YouTube, and we still don't know totally.
Yeah, right. We're not 100%. So what happened? So he's
So
on.
we
You
we
get
had
me on.
Dustin
You're
on,
chop
yeah,
chop.
yeah,
Seth, you're not in the Zoom meeting. I get in the Zoom meeting. I sit down. Dustin's there. We're talking, and Neil
and
starts
talking and
fumbling
talking.
around, hitting buttons, and then what?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't pull my computer up. I was talking to you guys because I logged into Zoom on my phone. But I couldn't gain access to my computer. I would start it, JAWS would fire up, ask for my password, and then the Windows would never log in. So turned out I had done a Windows update and my personal profile got corrupted. Um, so I actually Steve Guerra, I owe him a thank you, shout out. I don't remember if it was that weekend or the weekend. I think it was that weekend. Spent a few hours getting me up. He was able to save my hard drive. Fortunately, that wasn't corrupted, and he was able to just create like a new profile. So I have been up and running, but I've just my things have been quirky, and that's why we still haven't done the show. I wasn't able to until last night. I hadn't been able to log into where we upload the podcast, and the software that I use to edit the podcast. It wasn't working right, which I wasn't too worried about because I didn't think we could upload the podcast anyways. Uh, so I don't know. Finally, just was able to work that stuff out. And I mentioned to you earlier, like it kind of makes me look stupid, really. So I've been putting there's a thing called Anchor, which is a place where you can host podcasts that came up a few years ago, which blind people jumped to because it was the first totally accessible platform to where you could put your podcasts up, and it's free. And like you didn't have to at that time like do anything but upload your podcasts, and they would spread it out to like Spotify and Apple and all the other places. And so that's where we've been putting our show up on, but Spotify bought Anchor, and just literally like a few days before my computer crashed, I had to change all of my login stuff from Anchor to Spotify. And I never got a chance to log in under Spotify after they forced that until after the crash. And then every time I tried logging in, it was giving me an error message, and I was logged in on my phone. So obviously everything was working fine, but I would try to log in on the computer and I was getting this error message. And in the end, I finally, because I've never done anything on Spotify. I just created the Spotify account. I don't even know when, probably years ago, for like a free music trial or something.
Right.
So when Anchor told me I had to like have a Spotify file, I was able to just log into my previous Spotify thing. But when I was I finally, like last night, just said screw it, I'm going to change the password, and I don't know if that's going to help or hurt, or I won't be able to log in on the phone either. But what's it matter if I can't do it from the computer? I'm not going to do the podcast anymore anyways. And so when I was changing the podcast or the password, I their requirements, my previous password, which was a kind of a weak password, was one character short of their minimum
Right.
for characters. And that's why I was getting the error thing trying to log in on my computer in the end. So, but nowhere was it giving me that notice. Like I could have logged into the Spotify podcast thing 2 weeks ago if they just said, "Hey, your password needs to be reset." I mean, I could have tried that on my own too. I know, but it gave me no notice. It just kept saying error. Yeah, something's not working right. It's like, yeah,
Right.
thank you. I didn't know if we'd be able to get back to where our other
So
podcasts
all you needed to do was reset your password.
reset, change my password. We're up and running. So my
Wow.
only other concern, this was why I decided to just go straight to YouTube and not have Frank edit it, because I apparently have 2 YouTube channels, which I didn't know. You know, the Beepball Blues show and a personal one. And when I upload the video after we're done, I'm not sure which one it's going to be going to yet. So I may still have to play around with the YouTube channel, but I think we've got everything back and running, and we've missed a lot. So we're, you know, the show is the season's hot and heavy. Beatball's hot and heavy right now, so we're gonna be in the mix, and knock on wood, as long as the technology provides the ability to do it. You know, that was a few weeks ago when Steve got me back up and going. I'm so worried about it crashing again. I have not restarted my computer since then. Not one single time. I mean, I don't know what I'm afraid. Well, I guess I do. I'm afraid of it not coming back
It's
up.
back on right now. That's
Yeah,
exactly
so
but you
I
gotta
am
do
not
it. Gotta
I
do
have
it. Not
not
after the show. After you get the
restarted.
show. After you get the show up, man, you gotta restart it.
I might.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm
You gotta
ready
go
yet.
out there into the unknown, not knowing, Neil Dog. You gotta take
I might.
those chances, man.
I might. Speaking
Yeah.
of taking chances, the presidential race is getting real, Seth Dog. I got an email
Man, the
just
freaking
today.
hey, the democracy is on the freaking line, man. We could be living under a dictatorship in 6 months. Oh, you're probably not talking about that
No, I
presidential.
am. I mean, that's why
Uh,
people should vote for me, because both Richie and Jerry are pro dictatorship.
Ah,
No, I got an email from the elections committee today saying, "All right, if you're receiving this email, it's because you've been nominated for something. So by June 15th, I've got to get my bio and a current picture in to go up on the website. So
what?
it's getting real, Seth
What?
Dog,
You
and
need.
just go ahead."
I say maybe you need a professional ghostwriter. I'm not doing anything for the next couple of weeks. I could write up your bio for a small fee. You know, I do have a PhD, so I can't do it just for free.
Well, I wasn't going to go full ghostwriter, but I absolutely was planning on asking you to give it a little look-see. They warned us in the email. They're like, you know, one, shorter's better. Keep it short. Shorter's better. And two, make sure you do a spell check, because we're putting it out the way you send it. So,
Yes, yes, yes. Well, good.
and
Yeah, send
Lord
it over
knows
to me.
I've got 55 years of embarrassing myself with my bad spelling. So,
Hey, and hopefully you'll take my brevity comments as well. I try to tell my students to, you know, say
tell them
what you
what?
got to say. Say what you got to say and get out.
Yeah.
Don't. I always say, don't write yourself out of a good grade. Just say what you got to say and be done. But,
And
but
actually,
good.
I actually try to stick to that. I don't know what got me there, but more it sticks out to me when I was involved on the tournament committee, when we were writing up stuff like the guidelines and our RFP, the request for proposal. Like I became the one that was like trying to cut stuff out of there. Like, you
Right.
know what I mean? This is too much nonsense. Adding 1,000 words doesn't make it pretty.
Uh,
we
uh,
Let's get to the point. And so when I write stuff up, I do try to. I hate when I've sent something out and seen where I was redundant, or you know what I mean, like unnecessary. So I do like to just kind of get to the point.
well, good, good. Then I'll take out all the unnecessary words.
Only
But
when I'm writing, not
I
when
will,
I'm talking.
yeah, right. Maybe
Only
I
one
can
over.
maybe I can pretty it up for you too a little bit, man. You know, you're kind of a humble guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't like to toot your own horn, so.
I've always said I said it jokingly, but I've always said if I ran for the president of the United States, that you would be my not vice president, my chief of staff.
Oh yes,
And
yes,
so it's like maybe you could be my chief of staff and my press secretary for like a reduced rate.
yes. Hey, maybe, and I could be
Well,
your campaign chief
uh,
strategist, man. You know,
we could do that
I could
too.
tear it up, man. I got some attack ads. It's all about
I'm
attack ads. You got to attack. Got to attack. Got to tear your opponents down, Neil Dr.
I don't
Monroe.
want to do it, but if you want to go out and tear
Ah,
them up, if
yes,
you want to go
yes,
tear them up, you go
yes,
ahead. We're
yes,
gonna
yes.
do something to divide that Texas vote.
All
I
right.
might have to put in a bylaw that nobody from Texas can vote for
You
president.
know, back in the day, during like the Revolutionary era, when people would publish in papers, they wouldn't use their own name. They would come up with, you know, a pseudonym or whatever. So maybe I'll start posting as Roland or Rand or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? So nobody
Matrim,
knows. Yeah.
Matrim Coffin.
Yes, yes, so nobody knows who I am, man. I'm on
Uh,
it, Neil Dog.
uh,
I got it. I got it,
okay.
Mr. Trump. I know exactly what you want me to do now, Mr.
Sounds like
Trump.
a plan. So you're gonna have to keep me ready because just 5 short days after that is the big town hall meeting.
Mm.
Uh,
Okay, town hall. What does
yes.
this mean? Right? You and I talked about this a little bit before, right? So are people from Beepball Nation or from Beepball? Oh, I don't know why I call it Beepball Nation, the nation of Beepball. Um, Going to be asking you, Jerry, and Richie questions.
That's the way it was presented to me. Chad Dillon and Christina Smears, they're going to be the hosts. Um, Chad, I don't know if he's getting help from other people or if it's the two of them. I don't know where the questions are coming from, but he said we'll have questions sent to us ahead of time that
Oh,
we should be prepared to answer. But also, he's
uh,
hoping for questions from the audience also.
I will say, as a we don't need to get into it, but as somebody who's kind of dealt with those things recently, man, love getting the questions ahead of time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, right. It is. It is. Oh, but I'm
Oh,
sorry. I
good one.
digress, man. Inside
That's
joke
all
there,
good.
but yeah, so inside joke.
It's all good.
So you guys are all going to be answering the same questions.
I don't know that. I
Ah,
mean, you literally already know pretty much as much as me. Uh, he did say he reached Chad Dillon reached out and said that now that Richie Flores is in the mix, he's gonna reach out and invite him to join it also. And he told me that he would remove the word debate when he advertised it going forward, which I personally appreciate because that isn't the way like it was put together. Like, and he was I guess trying to tie it into like stuff going on in the real world and being tongue in cheek about it, trying to be funny and relevant,
right.
whatever, which I understand. But I felt like it was kind of false advertising because when he invited us to a town hall meeting and telling people, show up for the big debate when it wasn't put together as a debate. And in the end, I bet Richie and Jerry and I are very similar in a lot of our ideals and what we're trying to do for the league. We're kind of all, I believe, coming from the same place. We just each believe the other one. I believe I would be the best leader out of the three of us, and I'm sure each of them feel the same way. But there's no like I don't know real debate. I guess. I mean, I expect us to feel differently about stuff and
No,
answer
it's
it differently.
they do town hall style debates and so I mean they're at, people are I mean it's whether it's a debate or whatever you want to call it, right? People are going to be tuning in to see your uh, you know opinions on people to kind of
Right.
or on issues and to kind of judge you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
come off
I would
like a
expect so.
yahoo,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, so
Yeah.
So you know, you're there to kind of draw the, you know, if I'm your campaign director, right? You're there to
Hypothetically.
yes, yes. And you know, as your communications director, there was a grammatical misstep a little while ago. I should have used the I instead of me. But if you are in the campaign, you know, a debate, you want to kind of show the differences, right? Saying, hey, we're all the same. Doesn't really tell the people all the time. It's like, well, how would you do this differently, right? Why would we, you know, why pick you? What do you bring to the table? And you don't want to say, oh man, I basically bring the same thing to the table that Richie and
Oh
Jerry
yeah,
do.
yeah. No, and I
You
agree
know,
with you. And that's
and
not the kind of answer I'm going to give.
no, and so that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
it is a debate sort of style. You know what I'm saying? It's just you know what I'm saying?
yeah. No, that's fair.
It is a it's a
Debate
debate.
sounds so aggressive to me, I guess. You know what I mean? And I guess I specifically, because I don't know if I was asked to come debate Jerry,
Right.
just because that word sounds so aggressive to me, I don't know that I would have agreed to that. And I
Ah,
read through the message more than once, making sure I wasn't missing anything before I agreed to it.
okay.
Uh, so I guess when the first word blasted out there is debate, big debate, it's like, man, this
You
is not
know.
where I was coming from. And judging by Jerry's response, nor was he. So,
Hey,
but
Chad. Hey, Chad. I feel Chad. This is what you're supposed to do. You got to, you got to get people interested. You got to bring the
yeah,
people out, man.
yeah,
Hey, you know, got big debate going. People at their
yeah.
throats. But
No,
you know,
and he reached out to me. He's like, "Man, I hope you're not offended." I was like, oh, "I'm not offended." And in the end, I'm not surprised.
all right.
I mean, Chad Dillon isn't going to miss out on an opportunity to
Uh,
build this up or whatever.
hey, you guys
And
are
why
lucky
do
I
it?
ain't doing it.
Why do it if you don't want to build it up?
Yeah,
So I
right.
dig all that. I dig all
Tell him to contact your campaign manager, and we'll
that.
set up a little promotional sort of thing going on here. So.
Fair enough.
This is-
Fair enough.
yeah. So let me tell you about Jerry Wendell and something I heard. No, just joking. Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is serious. You know,
Yeah.
it's
All right.
serious. But
I got nothing else on any of that though. We got a Bonanza to run down, and we've yammered
wow.
on long enough. So if
Yes,
you're
yes. And I
ready
gotta
for
go,
that.
man. I got all day, man. You know what I'm saying? Chop, chop. Busy man. Busy man. Got a campaign to win. You can just lollygag, and while we do the leg work out here, man.
Shout out though, we did miss out on a lot of Beepball.
Yes.
The big Texas tournament. Of course, we probably would have had Greg back on. Were you even on when you weren't here when Greg was here? Or I think you
Maybe
were
I
like cutting
was.
in and out or
Yeah.
something, and you ended up just staying gone. Or
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. I
remember.
definitely was here at the beginning, but you're right. I do think I
Uh,
jumped.
but I thought it would have been cool to have Greg back on to talk about that tournament, and Demo on to talk about their battle of Illinois, and maybe get Fonzie in there. I thought Value City made a good run at the Texas tournament. But whatever, that's in the past now. Philly and New Jersey played, and New Jersey came away. The score I'm remembering was like 9-5, but I think they played like 4 innings or whatever. It seems like everything that's gone on beatball wise has been affected by weather this year.
Dude, it's
Uh,
climate change, man. People tried to tell us like 20 years ago. We didn't want to hear it.
yeah,
We didn't want
I
to
mean,
hear it. We
I
didn't want
don't
to
know
hear
what
it.
I won't claim to know what it is, but everything has been affected by weather. It's been wild. More beatball than ever in every single tournament. It's been it's the like they played Thursday, the third game of the 3 games, not Thursday, Saturday, were played mostly in rain. They played on wet fields Sunday morning. But also, finally, the Long Island Bombers and the Boston Strong got together for a doubleheader at Central Park. I don't have any scores. I started to listen to that, and the video cut out after like the second inning. And I mean, it was recent, and when I was listening to it, and I wasn't going to go way back looking for the rest of that. My man Melshon, though, doing play by play, Melshon Ellis, somebody I'd like to get on the show at some point also. So shout out to all those teams. Sorry that we couldn't give you guys more love when all that went on. The Bonanza was pretty wild. Bonanza. If I would have known for sure tonight's show was going to work, we probably Darnell's gonna be upset that we're covering the Bonanza without him here.
D-Book.
We're gonna have to
What's
find a
up, D-Book?
reason.
Yeah, we got to talk to
But
D-Book. Where's your support, D-Booker? That's what I need to know. Call me. I need to know. Where's your support, man? Give me a break. Come on now. All right, let's go.
Buck's been complaining to me since January that we don't have him on the show anymore. So
Hey, tell him, man. Hey, one hand washes the other, man. Come on.
All right. So
Come on, hey, come on and endorse Neil, Book, and you got a slot, man. So,
I was in Richie's little pool, for you've probably seen how he's done like a little
yeah.
pool for these games, and he after the numbers are drawn, he puts out a big text to everybody involved with their numbers, and I was number 0, and so the text starts with Neil 0. I was like, man, Richie is probably gonna be your little hashtag for your campaign slogan. Hashtag Neil 0. That's cold, Richie. That's cold. Uh, anyway, so Booker could put some shirts together. Vote Neil 0.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hashtag for the association, baby.
What? Neil Dog.
So the Bonanza bracket A had Indy Blue. The Indy team is so big now, Seth, they divided into 2 teams. Actually, when the Jets dropped out,
Right. Yeah, I
they
remember
had
that.
a second team. So the Blue is what I'll call the A team. So we know what the other one's gray, so people know which team's what. Not that they called it the A team, but that's the
Yeah,
team that
yeah,
Jared pitched to. So
yeah,
that's the A
right.
team.
That's 18. Yeah,
So
exactly.
Indy A in bracket A, Cleveland Scrappers, Bayou City Heat, the Gateway Archers that rounded up bracket A. Bracket B, the Indy Edge, Chicago Comets, Indy Thunder B team, and the Philly Fire. Round 1. So I went over the last few days. I've been going and checking all the teams' pages, and I've there's a lot of these games I just don't have scores to. I know who won. I don't know what the final score was. So I could have reached out to people, but we didn't even know technically if the shows go work. Still don't.
Mm.
I guess it's working on Facebook, but still don't know if I'll get all the other stuff up. So I didn't reach out to anybody. I guess I could have, but man, that's what their pages are for. One of the teams specifically said Saturday morning, we're not going to be able to stream today. Check back later for scores. I did, but
Yeah,
no
right.
scores were posted. But like
No.
so anyways,
Yes. Tell us what you know, Neil Dog. Tell us what you know.
So in bracket A, in the first round of games, the Indy Thunder A team beat the Cleveland Scrappers. The Gateway
No.
Archers,
I'm sorry.
the Gateway Archers beat the Bayou City Heat 14-2. I didn't catch that game, so I don't know if that was a run rule or if they played 6 innings. I'm not sure with that, but a 14-2 victory for Gateway. In bracket B, the Indy Edge beat the Chicago Comets, and the Philly Fire beat the Thunder B team 12-4. In the second round of games, bracket A, Archers beat the Indy Thunder A squad 25-18. Something significant from this game, Set Dog. For the first time in the history of Beat Baseball, we had back-to-back home runs.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was really cool. Aaron C actually had a home run in their morning game, and then he and Kyle Lewis went back to back. I was listening, and that was pretty exciting. Now there's like 3 home run wise. There like 3 what I consider to be like the kind of the coolest moments for the home runs is Corey White's walk off in the championship game. Nothing tops that.
All right.
Casey Kraus The one he hit in Las Vegas to tie the game in the sixth inning against Austin, that was incredible. And then these back to backs, and I was listening to two of them when they happened, and I was there to call Casey Krause's. So I think it's cool that I've been able to catch those live. But that was incredible, man. The downside of it was Seth Talk, that made the score like 23-14.
Ah,
They scored 4 runs in 2 at-bats, and still we're down by 9. This we could talk about it later after we go through all the games, but this Gateway roster is it's pretty potent, because they saw a really potent Thunder roster, and they Thunder, it was close the first couple innings, but after that the Thunder were chasing them the whole time. The other
I guess
yeah.
in the immortal words of Jimmy Johnson, you know what? They're going to hang with us for the first 2 quarters, but then we're just going to kick their ass up and down the field. Oh, that was Jimmy before the NFC Championship game with the 49ers. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's Cowboy nostalgia day.
I'm actually hoping all this cowboy talk helps me in the presidential race.
Yes, I think.
I normally cut you off, but we need Texas votes. On the other part of bracket A was the Bayou City Heat beating the Cleveland Scrappers. The Indy Edge beat the Thunder B team 12-5, and this game after 2 innings was 5-4, Thunder Gray. But obviously, the Edge turned it around. The Gray didn't score again after that, and the Edge won 12-5. But the Thunder Gray team is a really solid roster. Ikram was on that team with Toby Gregory and Chris Dunleavy. Like that was a pretty solid team. And then wrapping up bracket B in the second round of game was the Philly Fire beating the Chicago Comets. Another game I don't have the score of. In the last round on Saturday, the Indy Thunder A team beat the Bayou City Heat 19-14. Close game, good game. The Gateway Archers beat Cleveland Scrappers 10-3. That's like maybe the one of the closest scores I've seen with Gateway. And I mean, you could like assume that they put their bench in or whatever, but they had like 9 players, and 8 and 9 were Chad Dillon and Demetrius Morrow. So like they really didn't have a bench. They brought 9 starters with them.
Right.
So I'm not sure why that game was 10-3. I got that off Mind's Eye page, so I feel confident that that's the right score. But I don't know what happened in that game, but that's a surprising score. On the bracket B, the Philly Fire beat the Indy Edge 13-10, but that's not as close as it sounds. They had them down either. I wasn't positive at the end of the second inning if it was 13-1 or 13-0, but they run rolled the Edge in that game. Casey Krause unfortunately got hurt in that game. I have no update. There's actually like 3 entries. Mike Finn and another player collided. Mike stayed in the game, but they were reporting that like he was bleeding from his ear. Mikey was playing with your Heat. Even though the Bayou City Heat were there, like Richie was like the only player from there. Richie and a
really?
rookie, Grant Simpson, were like the only players from Bayou City that were
Funny.
there. Oh, Tanner was there also. But Jason Dobbs also took a shot to the head, like a line drive that he was trying to line up on, got him somewhere in the head. So we had a few injuries, but the Casey Krause one looked pretty bad. He heard it in the bottom of the inning. They I think it was 11-0 after the top of the first, and he was the first batter up, and he heard it running to the base. So he was able to like lift his arm up over his head. They're testing him that way, and he stayed in the game for a little while, but he ended up coming out. So I have no idea how bad that is. But Well, you know what? I'm an idiot too. That didn't happen in that game. That happened in the
Neil,
championship
Neil,
game
as a
against
president,
Gateway.
as your campaign manager, I gotta say,
Never admit to being an idiot.
yes,
I have
yes.
mistaken somehow. I don't know how.
So,
Fake news. Fake news. I was thinking. I only brought it up there because I was thinking it happened in that game. All the games are kind of a blur now, but that actually happened in the championship game. Um, so closing out the third round of games on Saturday was the Chicago Comets beating the Indy Thunder B team. Again, no idea what the score was. I thought the Gray had a chance going into that game of winning that game because the Comets didn't bring a lot of players. They had a pretty short bench. So this brings us to our placement games on Sunday. The championship game was 19-4. The Archers over the Fire. It's the first time in like 10 years or something that an Indy team didn't win the Indy Bonanza.
that's funny.
But I think that has Gateway at like 13-0 on the season or something like that. And the roster they had this weekend, it's I think what you kind of expect out of them, like if they're playing in the championship game at the World Series. They had Justin Holland and Mark Morris, David Smith, Ethan Johnston, Ricky Castaneda, and Rich Kressel were all hitting, and they had Kyle Bora playing designated fielder, and then again they had Chad Dillon, who had the second best average batting average at the Oklahoma tournament back in April, and Demo, who's always been a good hitter. So that was their roster, and they. With that group, they've just been rolling like with people and showing different.
Would you expect any different though?
You know what I did not expect?
Would it be? Wouldn't it be a controversy if we saw other things happening?
Yeah, and that's fair. I was thinking about that last night because it's similar to me to when like the players left the Thunder and Justin Holland joined them and they all went to the Edge.
Yeah.
Everybody was sitting back. It's like, man, that's a championship starting lineup. Like now it's on Kyle Kennedy to come through. And I felt like this was kind of the same situation when Mike Curtis didn't become their like regular starting pitcher until like Thursday of the tournament last year because Johnny Walker had gotten hurt, and he's just been on it. He hasn't pitched lower than like 82% in any of these tournaments or matchups. That's the part that's been surprising to me. I know they had a championship roster when they put it together, but I didn't expect Mike Curtis to be so dependable. Like he literally is pitching like he's one of the best 3 or 4 pitchers in all the league right now, and it's still kind of new. It's crazy. He deserves a lot of credit for how they're rolling. And in this tournament, the scores weren't really that high overall. They're the only team that was putting up the big numbers on a consistent basis, really.
You know, and you know me, I love playing devil's advocate. And I don't know about Mike Curtis. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wrapped up in the games or whatever as much as I should be
Right.
to make this kind of statement here. But it also really, really, really helps having a professional freaking lineup, right? Where your batters are swinging on time, where your batters are swinging in the same place every time, and you're not high, you're not. I mean, I don't know if they are, right? But those are you look at those names you just rattled off; those are experienced Beepball players. You
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? They are
And like
good.
all stars,
All
like
stars,
different.
right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
all of
Right,
them.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So they bring a certain level of professionalism to their swing, which I'm sure Mike Curtis would be the first one to tell us makes his job so easy. Not so easy. I don't mean that, but you
Yeah,
know
I
what I
mean, you
mean.
still got to come through.
Right,
I hear what
exactly.
you're saying though. Like for the first like 4 years of the Dogs, we played with 3 different pitchers, and
Right.
we finished third at the World Series in 2 of those 4 tournaments, and we finished like in the top like 7 in all of them. And I think one thing that helped overcome our pitchers not having like World Series experience is the experience we had.
Right,
You, Eric,
right,
Mike was
everybody
still
has.
kind of new, but Danny Fapiano, like, you know what I mean?
Right,
We presented like you're saying an experienced lineup, but the
right.
pitcher still has to come through, and he's coming through with
Yes.
big numbers.
No,
Like,
he is.
you know,
Yep.
he's coming through with big numbers. I think he
Nobody
only
doubts
had
that.
like I think he kind of matched Jared Woodard in the not Patrick Krause. I don't whatever. I don't. Again, now the games are blending, but I guess it was the Saturday game when they beat the Thunder, the A team 25-18. I think Jared and Mike Curtis only had like 3 strikeouts a piece or whatever. Like he's matching
Right.
the best the league has to have. So
Right.
that's
No,
no joke, man.
no, without a doubt.
It's no joke. Shout out to him. I don't know if I mentioned
Uh,
Ethan Johnston when I ran
you
down their
did.
lineup,
You
but
did.
all right,
You
good,
did.
good.
Yep.
Can't
Yep.
leave my boy out.
Uh,
The Philly Fire, because they lost the championship game 19-4, so they were down 11-0 when Casey Krause got hurt in the bottom of the first, and he ended up coming out, and they were in a run rule by the end of the second inning. But the Fire did not have John Marchis, who starts at mid left for them, and they didn't have Justin Rhymes, who's still coming back from a knee injury, who is their starting deep left fielder and their leadoff batter. So, or one, I think he leads off in case he hits second. So, they were shorthanded, and then when Casey got hurt, their entire left side of their defense was out of the game. So, that that deserves to be mentioned or whatever. But man,
uh,
Gateway's
uh,
putting up big gaps between these two when they got that group together.
yeah, no, man,
Mm.
that's a monster, man. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
monster.
yeah.
That's a monster. Can I say? Can I throw in? Just a totally off topic thing, just to build on the same sort of thing. We were up in Salem, and and there's a reason I'm saying it now. We were eating at this place, kind of like I don't know, so almost like a Southern cafe or whatever. But I had like a Philly cheesesteak. It was called the Philly, and we were taking pictures in there afterwards because they had like something called the Library of Black Excellence. And so it's like a library, you can check out books written by Black authors or whatever. Again, I'm in Salem, Oregon, man. Gotta love it. And we're taking pictures of Trajan. Trajan's all cowboyed out. I'm all cowboyed out. And the owner's like, man, you need to have this in your picture. And he brings us a big Philadelphia Eagle helmet or whatever. I'm like, okay, I feel you. I'm like, man, we're in Salem, man, and everybody's around, man. So when you said the Philly Fire, I was like, oh man, I know. Got respect for Philly, man. Respect for your fans, man. Glad you guys didn't win the Super Bowl. So, hey, but have they finished this high this year in any tournament?
No, the
Philly?
only one they played in was um the Vegas tournament.
Oh, okay. And where
The beast of the East is coming up still, like in
and
a
where did they
couple
finish
weeks.
in
They finished
Vegas?
fourth, but they didn't have 4 starters with them, and they lost to Austin by 1 run for the third place game. But they in that game they didn't in that tournament they didn't have John Margis, they didn't have Justin Rhymes, they didn't have Tyler Rodriguez, no Scott Hogwood. So that and those are 4
So,
starters,
so
and
they
like if
haven't
they're
really been at full strength yet.
not
And
yet, not
all
yet,
right,
no, not yet. So hopefully we're gonna see that in the Beast of the East. I believe Justin Ryan, he hurt his meniscus, and I think he's close to coming back.
all right.
So
Mm,
go
like
down
Busta
to
Rhymes.
the third place game.
What? Ooh,
Indy Thunder beat the Indy Thunder A team beat the Indy Edge 8-6.
that's been hard for them, the indie boys, to swallow, playing for third place.
Yeah,
No, I
certainly
mean just in
nothing
their
we've
tournament.
seen. Yeah, in their
Yeah, I mean
tournament, nothing
in
we've
their own
seen in a
tournament.
long time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
nothing we've seen it. I mean, they're always playing each other in the
Right
championship
in the
games. So
championship.
not always, but often,
Yeah. All right.
whatever. So nah. definitely. In the edge, they just didn't. They were missing a couple people. They didn't have Nick Mulhern, who's supposed to be with them at the World Series, and on Saturday they didn't have my boy Miguel. Stop calling me Teo. But he was there with them Sunday. I got to see Miguel get an at bat. He's always been a designated fielder. I never saw him get an at bat before. At first they were saying he scored and it would have made that game 8-7. But the umpires talked it over and called it an out. So that was the last out, and they lost 8-6.
As
Uh,
president, will you bring instant review to people?
and online scoring, like live online scoring.
Excellent,
Yeah,
excellent,
yeah.
excellent. Like
You
it.
know that these are the games that get televised on that Indiana Sports Channel,
Oh, okay.
the regional network, and that's
Yeah,
something they
yeah.
have every time that especially the umpires love is they have the screen split, and they've got the runner in one box and the fielder in the other box or whatever, and so whenever
Right.
there's a question of who made the play first, they go right back there behind the plate and look at the replay. It's really cool. So yeah, definitely. I pledge all that. I'm bringing all the technologies.
Good, man. You know, we got to get this sport, squarely into the 21st century, Neil Dog,
It is
So,
crazy when you explain to people we're still using 1976 technology,
yeah, right.
like with the balls and the bases.
All right.
In the fifth place game, your Bayou City Heat
Bayou City, what time is it?
defeated the Chicago Comets. But again, the Heat had Mike Finn. They had a bunch of Panthers from Southern California, Darren Keepers, and
Uh,
at least I think Darren was on their roster. I know Darren was dealing with. He was in the hospital recently with pneumonia, so it's possible he wasn't able to actually make that trip.
West Side, West Side, West
But
Side.
it tripped me out to see Mike Finn out there playing with the Heat.
All
I
right.
don't know that I've ever seen Mike just show up and play with other teams
All
before.
right.
But anyways. And then finally, the Indiana Thunder B team, Indy Thunder Gray, defeated the Cleveland Scrappers. So the Scrappers went 0-4, and the Gray managed to squeak a win out before it was all over.
Yay! Yay!
So those are the results of the games. Run down the awards real quick.
Real quick, real quick. We ain't got all day, Neil. It's
For
like a
the
2-hour freaking show.
I know they broke up the short, medium, and deep. That's kind of Beepball's new thing. Stanley Griffin of the Cleveland Scrappers had 30 putouts. Mark Morris of the Gateway Archers had 27. Those were your two shorties. Defensive mid, Aaron C., the former DH for the Indy Edge. They had him out in mid left. I was questioning Jared Woodard, man. It's like, you got Axel Cox on the team now, and you got Aaron, my boy. Aaron's my boy. They had him out in mid left, and the dude made the all tournament team with 7 putouts out in mid left. So shout
Yeah,
out.
but they did give up 25 runs to the Archers. I'm just saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate, Neil Dog. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Actually, I'm really proud of Aaron because I believe part of his going to the Thunder was in hope
So he
of
could
having
play.
a shot at defense.
Please don't take my comments seriously. I'm just messing around. So
We're all
hopefully
good.
he doesn't take it.
Aaron's always taking the show well.
Good, good.
Alex Gavino, shout out to him, a up and coming player for the Chicago Comets, was your other mid person. He also had 7. For the defensive deeps, Justin Holland had 6 putouts. I think 5 of them came in one game.
Wow.
He had a big game playing deep left or whatever. He's been looking good for them. And this dude, Antonio Devine, I believe plays for the Cleveland Scrappers, and I'm not positive, so I shouldn't say it, but I'm not smart enough not to. I think he's the guy. If you remember last year, I told you I met a player from the Scrappers the first night I was there, and then the next day when the Scrappers and the Sirens were playing, dude brought Wilbur Turnover over to me. I was like, "Hey, Wilbur, it's Neil McDonald." He's like, "He told me it was Bam Bam." Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that's who that was. Like I couldn't remember his name, but I always felt like if I saw their roster, I believe his name was Antonio, and so I'm guessing. I think that's him. It's a good story, right?
Hey, congratulations to him, man.
Yeah.
Smart guy trying to introduce one legend to another legend. I get it, man. I can understand Wilbur's disappointment. I get it.
They gave out one utility award. Jeff Dell of the Cleveland Scrappers had 8 putouts playing at the different levels. And then MVP on defense went to Stanley Griffin for his 30 putouts. On offense, shout out to Corian White from the Indy Edge. I was happy to see him. I'm expecting a bounce back season out of him on offense and defense. They had him back up in short right in this tournament, and I'd like to see Corian have a bounce back. He had a for him, his level, he had a down season last year. Aaron C. with the Indy Thunder A team made it on there. 2 home runs. Gerald Dykes from the Thunder also. Justin Holland also making the offensive team. Ethan Johnston of the Gateway Archers also on there. And Cody Jeffries, who seems to be the MVP at everything Beat Baseball now, whether they're playing or not, another MVP with a 738 average for the weekend. MVP on offense obviously went to Cody, and they gave a both sides of a ball MVP, and that went to Justin Holland. And that is everything.
It's like the freaking NBA now, man. Give out 1,000 awards, man. Jeez.
There's a few of them.
Oh man, God, man. Everybody should get participation trophy. Who watched the most streams? Let's give them a freaking I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. President, sir. Mr. Candidate, I'm sorry.
I was letting you roll while I'm trying to get back to the Zoom page so that we can get out of here.
Yes, good. That's been a long show. That has traveled quite the windy road. So again, thank goodness that we had your stewardship, your clear thought, and plan of direction. Else this episode would not have come off as entertaining as it did. Great job, Neil Doc.
Excellent. Now, while I work on the podcast and getting it on YouTube, we'll be waiting for that animal cookie ice cream.
Yeah, there you go.
If they're still open. Although since my profile is recreated, everything's kind of different. And I'm not seeing the way to stop the live video.
So this is going to be extra time with Bam Bam and Neil Dog on the Beepball Blues show.
No, because I can pause and stop the recording, and I'll do that, and then I'm just go kill it and knock us out of Zoom, so we'll both be gone. Everything you'll have to leave Facebook. Usually, there's always a button to end live stream.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's a sub menu for live broadcasting. So let me go there. Yep, stop live stream. Whoop, there it is.
See, that's the type of never panic leadership this league needs. Neil
Do you remember when we broke out with that? Whoop, there it is our cheer way back in like '93, and then in '94 when our first year as the Dogs. We found the Chicago Cobras.
They stole it from us.
And you got all upset. You and I, because we're so childish, sat there on the other side of the field going, who stole our cheer?
Yeah, who stole our cheer?
Over the stupidest song ever in the history of stupid songs.
That's true. But we had something with the Cobras, and man, we were like 20 years old, 21 years old, man. We're mere pups.
And little kid. I know. Even Pops was young. Pops was like our
Yeah,
age
our
then.
age, yes,
He
yes,
was
yeah.
what we are now. That's crazy. You're way more mature than we are,
Yeah,
Chief.
right. Yeah, no, I don't even see the comparison to this.
All right. I'm
All right,
happy
yeah.
that things are working again, and we will get cracking because the World Series like 2 months from today, Seth Dog, I will be back in California, home from the World Series. That's hard to
Good,
believe.
man. Always,
Moving along.
always glad when you get back home, man. You know, you might always have a home here in California, man. You never know.
All right.
We'll get
Before
you
you
through. We'll get you through the border, man.
before you go too far in the weeds. Thank you to anyone and everyone for checking this out, and we will keep it going. Be well until next time. All right, we're off of that. Let me set this down to